Welcome back. Let me now come back to you to continue from where we stopped.
I read, for instance, someone like Chief Audu Ogbe, who is a fantastic gentleman, distinguished politician, who's been in power for only God knows. For God's sake, I'm only going to be 3 years this month. And Audu Ogbe, the last time I checked, was minister close to about 30 years ago. No matter the argument, you cannot convince me as a young man that someone who was minister 30 years ago still deserves to be minister again 30 years after. What you are telling us is that there hasn't been nobody who can take up such responsibilities, and that's a failure of leadership. And you have people like former Governor Rotimi Amechi, fantastic gentleman, good politician, but what about the hue and cry about the allegations flying in his face? I mean, these are issues the president needs to consider. There are a number of other Nigerians who do not have this tainted record that he could have picked from. But again, I also understand his position. It's a systemic problem. Nigeria has issues with quality leadership, and I would expect this government moving forward to think about how it can save Nigerians from the houses of having to recycle leaders that haven't really been able to move us forward over time, irrespective of whatever contributions they have made to your campaign. Governance, exits compensation. We're talking about a country of 170 plus million people here, and you would expect that whatever decision that kind of a government takes, do not just ordinarily think about itself, but also think about the larger interests of Nigerians.
If his administration fails or succeeds, the buck stops on his table. So he has picked people who he thinks he can work with, and made some calculations, political calculations and otherwise. And it's his prerogative. He'll be the one to blame if it works. He'll be the one to blame if it doesn't. So and in that list, to be fair, lots of people have been talking about the caliber of people there. But if you look at that list, mainly most people that you find there are technocrats. And you do not stop being a technocrat just because you're in politics or you're a politician. And people like Tunde Fashola, though he's a governor, or he was a governor, but he's an SAN, and you don't stop being a technocrat because you're a governor. Like Fayemi and the likes of, even like Ngige, he's a medical doctor. He was a deputy director in the Federal Ministry of Health. And these are technocrats, and these are professionals in their own right. Just because they become politicians doesn't mean that they lose their professionality. I like to see more youth inclusion. I like to see more women in the cabinet. But then, if they are going to be there, it shouldn't just be to make up the numbers, but because of their competence to be a minister. Then I like to see them for that reason. But I don't. I'm not. My expectations. I'm not putting my hopes high. Buhari can surprise you anytime, any day. But if the second list is just like the first, I won't be surprised. But then, though we would like to see more, we'll expect more from him, but I won't be surprised. At the end of the day, it's his prerogative, it's his choice. If they work, the buck stops at his table. If they don't, then he takes the brunt of it.
Let us agree that the first 21 ministers that were appointed, even though you have some great guys among them, were compensated for their past deeds or efforts towards ensuring that this party came into power. Can we see something different in the course of the next 15 ministerial nominees? At least let 60 or 70% of whoever is going to come up in the next set of nominees be excellent men who are able to deliver on whatever task you give them, and not one politician who has been governor for 8 years, minister for 4 or 5 years, former deputy governor who decamped, and former spokesperson of a party. I don't want to see all those kind of issues surfacing again in our politics.
The kind of people I was expecting as minister in this Buhari administration was people that not necessarily coming from a political party, but great Nigerians who wants Nigeria to be a great country, who means well for Nigeria, not these political appointees. So the people there, I don't even know, because most of them are like, apart from few people, like someone of former Governor Fashola and former State Governor and the NNPC Group Managing Director, I guess. So those are people that have track record. But for the others, I don't really know about the rest of those people. So I don't really know how and where to place them, honestly speaking. So according to what Mr. Muiwa said, we want people that we do this job very effectively, not because of you help me to win election, I compensate you with this, you take that, and we are together. No, that will not make any change, because this same party has been accusing PDP of being rot in the past 16 years. And if you look very well, like, I don't see any politician in Nigeria that is different from other. So they are all the same people. They are just changing names of political parties. So therefore, I want Mr. President to look around and bring in people that are credible, people that believe that Nigeria is our country, for us to make things work.
If you look at the historical background of the Senate and the House of Reps, the HOR is actually the most grassroots one. The Senate is meant to be more elitist, people who are able to quote-unquote see the bigger picture and take larger political considerations into their calculations. Having said that, I think if the president wants to nominate someone, even if the senators in his or her state do not agree, I don't think that should bar the person from holding office if the majority of the people in the Senate vote for him or her. Because at the end of the day, we have to remember the people that are being nominated as ministers are people who are, in all actuality, representing the president. The president is not going to put people in who are designed to fail. He is going to put people in who are supposed to succeed and make sure that his vision goes into each ministry. In other words, improve the lot of Nigerians directly. So I think as long as the majority of the people in the Senate, majority of the senators are in line with the president's vision and approve the nominees, they'll be fine, whether the state desires such a person or doesn't.
All right, that's how we have to leave it on this segment of the program. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be joined by Blessing Agbomere. He's the Deputy Director, Special Duties of the Buhari Support Organization. Please stay with us.